Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Construction Game Podcast. Super excited to be here with you this week talking about how smart contractors handle mistakes. So, my in-laws, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and their two kids are literally getting ready to leave to move to Japan in like a week away. So, last weekend was really fun because they came to DC, and my daughter and son got a chance to spend one of their last few weekends with their cousins before they moved to Japan. And we're definitely going to visit them, but we're definitely not going to see them every weekend or every other weekend or once a month like we are now when they live in Virginia. So we're going to miss them, but we're super excited for them and the next adventure that they have in their life. So back to construction. So thinking about what smart contractors do to handle mistakes. And mistakes come up in construction. You know, this construction is an adventurous business. There's a lot of ups, there's a lot of downs. But how do you handle the downs? How do you handle the challenges that are presented to you? And I remember when I first got into the game, and this was like doing work for the federal government. I remember I was going to set up a proposal walkthrough with the government, and I confirmed a date. And the date came and went. And I remember the guy calling me and he's like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, where are you? And I literally made an excuse. And I felt so yucky about it. And he literally was like, don't make an excuse, own it. And I'm like, you're right. I'm not there. I thought it was supposed to be Thursday. It's Tuesday. I'm sorry. And I learned right then and there, like, especially doing work for the military, like, they cannot stand excuses. They hate them. And I embodied that as well. Like, I hate excuses. I take ownership for where you're at, take ownership for the mistake. And when you do that, it literally cuts through all of the potential anger. And we had another project that was down in Corpus Christi, Texas, and we had hit a line underneath the ground. We were doing some excavation work to install some fence posts, and we hit a line. And when you hit a line on a military base, it's a big deal, especially when it was a marked line. It's like, whoa, how'd you hit it? And at the time, my wife was pregnant with my daughter, and we literally were in the hospital my wife is giving birth to my daughter. And we had this meeting with the government to address us hitting that line. And obviously I couldn't be there because I was in there supporting my wife so she could have the baby. So we had one of our superintendents handle the meeting. And I told him, like, dude, like, I'm telling you, you have to take ownership, because I learned it from the first one. Like, whatever you do, just say, yes, it was my fault. I understand. I'm never going to let this happen again. And really mean it. But, like, take ownership. Whatever you do, just take ownership for what happened out there. Do not place blame and start saying, like, it wasn't my fault, all this stuff. Don't do that, because you're going to create a big, big, big problem. So I wasn't in the meeting, but I heard about the meeting. And what did he do? He went in there and he didn't take ownership. And they lit him up. And rightfully so, because I told him, I gave him full warning, and I coached him on it. Take ownership for the mistake. We made the mistake. It was a marked line. There's no blaming anybody at this point. Like, we own it. We made the mistake. Our subcontractor who works for us made the mistake. Take ownership for it. Didn't take ownership for it. He got eaten alive in that meeting. The government lieutenant that was running the project just was, just laid into him because he didn't take ownership. And, when we're currently now, like, even now, that was when we were doing like $10 million a year. Now we're last 2 years ago, we did 20. Last year we did 40, and we're on track to do 80 this year. You think we got more problems or less problems? You answered it correct. We got more problems. And the way you handle it is taking ownership. So right now we have a project that's out in El Paso, Texas. It's at the the port of entry between the United States of America and Mexico, the Isleta port. And we had a similar issue. We had a contractor, so one of our subcontractors that were hitting some lines, and we created a preventive action plan. The preventive action plan didn't work. Then we created another plan, and they still hitting lines. And again, I learned that you got to just take ownership. Like it's our fault. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility. And we literally had to say, all right, like we're going to take over this job. Like this is a $12 million job. This is our biggest job on the books so far to date. And we're going to have to take over this job because this contractor that we have is not performing, but I can't blame them. I have to take ownership for it. This is our project. So we got to start building our crew up to self-perform this work, or we risk really ruining our reputation down here. And that's exactly what we're doing. We started building out our team, and the team that we had there had previously done another concrete project for similar to this, not as big of a scope. Like this project here is literally 300,000 square feet of concrete replacement, 12 inches deep. The previous project that we had was like 33,000 square feet. So it's literally 10x, right? And the guys that we have that are doing it, they were the same superintendent team that was running that project down in Kingsville. So we knew we had the capabilities to do it, but just taking on this much work this soon in the game, because we were going to allow that other contractor to get in there and perform, but they just weren't performing. So we had to we're building out our team to take over that project, and we had to, because we have the firm belief of taking ownership for the end outcome that we want. And the end outcome that we want is a successful project. And we can't get a successful project when we don't have partners, in this case, an external partner that can do what they say they're going to do. And they said they weren't going to hit the lines, and they haven't not hit the line. So we got to take it over. So taking ownership it's massive in the construction game. When you make a mistake, where you have an error, where you have a problem, and you created the problem, and it literally cuts through the intensity. So for that project that I'm talking about at the Isleta port, the GSA's pissed. Like you hit another line. It's and we're pissed too, because it's like killing production. Every time we hit a line, we got to stop. We got to locate the line. We now got to get someone to come in and verify that what was actually hit. See if there's any other additional damage that we're not currently seeing with our eyes. So it's a bunch of aggravation and a loss of production. So we're pissed too, right? And in the conversation with the government, I understand, I get it. We take ownership for it. We're going to correct this issue. And a number of our corrections where we literally brought our team members down on site. So we had additional superintendents, additional quality control people, because now all of a sudden we're taking on more of this project. So we need more of our personnel down there. So we brought them down. We said we were going to do it, and we did it. We brought them down. We brought in some office personnel so that we could better control our paperwork, because we did have some additional problems on the quality control side where we needed to be able to better document our pour times. And our pour times, like literally we had to track from when it leaves the concrete plant to when the actual concrete leaves the concrete truck. And we had to get better with our documentation. And we took ownership for all of it. And when you do that, like what else is there to argue about? Like, I've taken ownership, and not just taking ownership and not meaning it, right? And what I mean by not meaning it is you take ownership and the same problem presents itself again, and then again, and then again. And no one's perfect, and no one's expecting for perfection. But we are expecting that you take ownership and you really mean it, and you literally are moving in the direction that you want to go in. And for us, that was getting our additional personnel down on the site. And that's exactly what we started doing. We had to hire some people. We brought some of our existing team members down, and we manned the job so that now we can self-perform this project. And because of that, now all of a sudden, the government's starting to build trust in us, building confidence in us. We poured our first pour last week, and the port came out better than our current contractor. So like, even that was another example of like, oh, wow, McKinsey can take control of this scenario and this situation. And that's exactly what we've done. And when you take ownership and not blame other people and say that person did it, or our subcontractor did it, or this person did it, or that person did it, and you take ownership for this scenario and the situation, it literally allows a mistake and turns that mistake and somebody upset with you into an opportunity to show that you are not perfect and that you will take the problem and make solutions for that problem and get the project to the finish line. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. That is exactly what matters. The government wants the project to the finish line. We want the project to the finish line. And the only way to do that is by continuing to move forward, taking ownership for getting the project to move forward, and then moving the project forward. And when you have that mentality, like anything that gets presented in front of you, any challenge, like I said, we were $10 million and had problems. When we were $20 million, we had problems. When we were $40 million, we had problems. Now we're going to be $80 million and we got even more problems. So the problems are never going to go away. It's just, how do you address the problems? And for us, we found that the best way to address the problems is to take ownership for the problem. And when you take ownership for the problem, you now allow for an opportunity to grow your business, take your business to the next level. And when you take your business to the next level, then you can get team members that also want to be problem solvers, because that's the level we're at now. Is not just Oliver solving all of the problems. We have team members that are all in and they're helping to solve the problems. And they're good at it. And sometimes they're even better than me. Because, like I always say, if I'm facing north, I can't see south. And when they're facing south, another team member can see east and west. And when we're all facing north, south, east, and west, we got other team members that are facing northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. So it's the pack mentality. We hunt in packs. And when you have a team that is a collective group that is coordinated, wants the same outcome, all incentives are aligned toward the outcome, and we're all pushing towards that outcome. And we're all taking ownership, we're all finding solutions to the problems. It's that's where the fun starts. And that is exactly where you want to be as your business. That's where I wanted to be. That's where I'm excited to be, and I'm excited to continue to grow it, because honestly, we're going to do $80 million this year, and we're barely scratching the surface. There's multi-billion-dollar construction companies. So we're barely scratching the surface. And I know those multi-billion-dollar construction companies just have problems just like we do. They just keep addressing them and keep moving forward through them and keep addressing them and keep moving forward through them. And that's all you can do. That is all you can do in this construction game. So if you got problems in your business, hey, don't run away from them. Just take ownership for them. And if you agree that that is the mentality that you have to be successful in the construction business, let me know by smashing that subscribe button. And if you know a contractor that, hey, they might not be taking ownership, but you know, if they did start to take ownership, they could take their business to the next level. And that's what it's all about, is taking your business to the next level so you can have that next level of impact. Not only in yourself, not only in your own family, but in your business and the team members that you have in the business. It's fun when you get there. It gets fun when you're having the impact. So if you know a contractor that they could elevate their business if they took ownership, go ahead and share this video with them. Let's roll and have a great day.